G'day everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can use the Taylordrift Pro Aim script for ground loot weapons in Warzone. I'll be using version 4.7.3 for this video. Let's get into it. The first thing we can do is set up our Warzone profile. Just like we have a different setting for primary and secondary, we can also add a third option for a Warzone profile. This is great for ground loot. To set up the Warzone profile, we need to enter the mod menu and press left on the D-pad once, so we're at the settings menu. Enter the settings option and scroll over to Warzone profile. We now need to choose the two buttons we want to press to activate this Warzone profile. To do this, you hold left trigger or L2 and use left and right on the D-pad to choose button number 1. Let go of left trigger or L2 and press down on the D-pad and then repeat the same process to pick your second button. Once you've chosen your two buttons, back out to save your selections. Now press those two buttons to change to your Warzone profile. You'll know it has changed because it will now say Warzone on the screen and the LED will be a light blue. Enter the mod menu again, go into Legacy Anti-Recoil and set the vertical to somewhere between 20 and 30. It's all going to depend on your settings and personal preference. Once you've done that, back out to save your legacy values. You now have the Warzone profile set up with a basic anti-recoil. Not all of them will be a laser beam, but this means no matter what weapon you pick up, it's going to have some kind of anti-recoil. For pistols, it will be too strong, but for most other ground loot weapons, it will be much better than normal. The only thing you need to be aware of when using this Warzone profile is that when you change weapons in the game, instead of just tapping triangle or Y, you need to hold it in for just a split second longer. This will make sure you change weapons in the game, but don't change back to your standard primary or secondary settings. Once you have your loadout, it's as simple as tapping triangle or Y as you normally would to change weapons or pressing your profile resync buttons and away you go on your normal loadout settings. Now, this option works and it does work well. However, I personally don't use it. Let me show you one of the ways that I'd like to do it. For the example, the loadout I'm going to use is the AMAX and the MAC-10. I'll be using progressive anti-recoil for the AMAX and legacy anti-recoil for the Mac. I already know my values for both of those, so I'll put those in. The issue is the progressive anti-recoil I have set up for the AMAX is going to be way too strong for pretty much every ground loot weapon once I drop into the game. So what I do is go into my primary anti-recoil settings. I turn progressive anti-recoil off and legacy anti-recoil on. I then put the vertical on somewhere between 20 and 30 and then get ready to play my game. As I drop in and grab ground loot weapons, my primary will be getting the vertical anti-recoil from legacy and my secondary will be getting the anti-recoil I have set up for the Mac, which for most ground loot weapons, it works okay. Once I get my loadout, all I do is go into the primary mod menu, turn legacy off and progressive on. That's it. Now I'm fully ready to go. My primary is now set to progressive anti-recoil that I've already set up for the AMAX before the game, and my secondary is now the Mac, which has legacy already set up for it. And there we go. That's two ways you can use the Taylordrift script for ground loot weapons in Warzone. It's not going to make them all a laser beam, but it's better than not using the Zen at all until you get your loadout. As usual, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or message me on Discord. I'll leave a link to the Taylordrift Discord in the description. See ya.